Okay, Friday, 22nd of August, 2025. So, Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. The phoenix within you, the mythical rebirth. Now, there's an interesting bit of human psychology, human behavior that I've noticed that I really want to lay the groundwork for now because I will probably more than likely refer to this in other topics in the future. So, in life, we have these different support beams, for example, in life that helps us maintain who we are, different identities, all sorts of different things. Okay. And then over time, as they crumble, like wood, they rot, or things knock them, life out there happens, things happen to us. It knocks our confidence, our character, who we are, and we crash and burn for whatever reason. Justified or not, out of our control or not, is irrelevant. That is what happened. The law of the chessboard. That there, fair enough. Hard times, let's say. It wasn't a good time, going through a difficult period, things like that. Crash and burn, and then we change. We are in the doldrums, let's say, rock bottom. Fair enough. And then one or two things tends to happen with men, most people in general, I suspect. Okay. One, they tend to wallow in that misery, rock bottom, and be apathetic and wallow in their self-misery and whatever else like that, and just become husks, empty versions of their former selves, and they just lament life and regret the past and drink whatever else, and real nihilism, arguably. Everything's hopeless and pointless and whatever else, and they just wander and get adrift through. They are adrift through life. Fair enough. But the Peter principle kicks in straight away. Again, there's no loopholes in nature. And the Peter principle says, this is who that person truly was. This is who they are. All those other things were just things propping them up, preventing entropy from them becoming who they truly are. Okay, interesting. All sorts of things, identity, for example, self-esteem, character, and other things in life. That was propping them up. But you remove that column, they crash, and this is who they truly are. Like in terms of meritocracy, when you're on your own, this is who you truly are. The mask is revealed, the mask is taken off, and your real personality is revealed. But we can go deeper. Some people would have this situation, and like the phoenix, they would rise up. Peter principle kicks in. They get themselves together. They rebuild themselves. They learn the right thing. They get the right ideas. Dragnet. And through self-esteem, character, you name it, right knowledge, you name help, people like that, anything. Internally, who knows? Anything. They rise up like the phoenix, and they ascend, and they surpass the person that they were before. Because their support beams now are much stronger, more purer, more aligned to who they are. Because when down here, you could say it's like a mental desert, it's mental survival. And they find their own genuine support beams, or they cultivate new ones that push them even higher. So they collapse, wallow in the misery, let's say, in the ashes, doldrums, and they emerge. They emerge and supersede who they were before. That transformation, that mythical transformation, that emotional, spiritual, physical, mental, financial, you name it, transformation is beautiful, mythical, fundamental, important, vital to life and growth and rebirth and going from one person to another over the decades. It's the hero's journey in some way, really, to be really mythical and narrative. You're reborn, and that's important. And it's important to supersede the person you were before, because again, the Peter principle kicks in to say, this is the person who you truly are, because you're capable of more things, better things, greater things, grander things. And then you could say and comment and be really clinical, and maybe even a little bit cynical, to say, well, those support beams, maybe they weren't lifting me as high as they could or should, or even really cynical, they were holding you back. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, these these things, doesn't matter, these things were not pushing you as high as they could be, so not helping you live up to your potential or holding you back. It depends. That's an interesting rabbit hole. It depends on the topic and person, whatever else. But it's this transformation, because this is who you truly are. The Peter Principle, you float to your natural level of competence, your limit. You float to your limit. But even then, let's say 10 years later, up here, this is the new peak, something again happens and you grow from it. This is who you truly are. So then in some way, this cycle of rebirth, like the phoenix, is endless insofar as our lifespan. But in regards to this growth, this cycle of growth from here to there, that's perpetual. And then you could be strategical and say, well, how do you go from here to there without hitting rock bottom, the doldrums, without a disaster, catastrophe happening? And apart from knowledge and learning and self-confidence and awareness, Dragnet, I did a video about this, you do it yourself, and it's gradual. It's a slow process. It's slower, a lot less painful than the doldrums. But then you could argue to say, well, again, be strategical and say, well, the doldrums pushes you and forces you to grow. Otherwise, it's just down at the bottom. But this one requires discipline to go to do it. Cut the middleman out. But that's an interesting cycle, and I guess that's the basis. It's a real proto basis, we could say, of the hero's journey in narrative and mythology. But okay, interesting. But that's what I've noticed with regards to human growth and cycles and character and development. That's powerful, very, very powerful, very, very interesting to see through different lenses. I have seen it through different lenses, and it's just an interesting thing to understand in life. The phoenix, rise like the phoenix. Powerful, powerful way to analyze life and to look at the journey of life when out there and doing stuff. Yeah. But otherwise, Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Subscribe for more, and you will see me tomorrow.